This week's Torah portion is entitled Re'eh, which means look. The Torah portion is taken from Deuteronomy 11:26 through 16:17. The Tanakh is taken from Isaiah 54:11 through 55:5, and the apostolic portion is taken from John 6:35 through 51. Deuteronomy chapter 11:26 through 32. See, I am setting before you today a blessing and a curse. The blessing, when you obey the commands of Yahovah your Elohim, which I command you today, and the curse, if you do not obey the commands of Yahovah your Elohim, but turn aside from the way which I command you today, to go after other mighty ones which you have not known. And it shall be, when Yahovah your Elohim has brought you into the land which you go to possess, that you shall put the blessing on Mount Gerizim and the curse on Mount Ebal, and they not beyond the Jordan toward the setting sun, in the land of the Canaanites who dwell in the desert plain opposite Gilgal, beside the terebinth trees of Moreh. For you are passing over the Jordan to go in to possess the land which Yahovah your Elohim is giving you, and you shall possess it and dwell in it, and shall guard to do all the laws and right rulings which I am setting before you today. Deuteronomy 12. These are the laws and right rulings which you guard to do in the land which Yahovah Elohim of your fathers is giving you to possess all the days that you live on the soil. Completely destroy all the places where the nations which you are dispossessing serve their mighty ones, on the high mountains and on the hills and under every green tree. And you shall break down their altars and smash their pillars and burn their Asherim with fire. And you shall cut down the carved images of their mighty ones, and shall destroy their names out of that place. Do not do so to Yahovah your Elohim, but seek the place which Yahovah your Elohim chooses, out of all your tribes, to put his name there, for his dwelling place, and there you shall enter. And there you shall take your burnt offerings, and your tithes, and the contributions of your hand, and your vowed offerings, and your voluntary offerings, and the firstlings of your herd and of your flock. And there you shall eat before Yahovah your Elohim, and shall rejoice in all that you put your hand to, you and your households, in which Yahovah your Elohim has blessed you. Do not do as we are doing here today, each one doing whatever is right in his own eyes, because you have not yet entered the rest and the inheritance which Yahovah your Elohim is giving you. But you shall pass over the Jordan, and shall dwell in the land which Yahovah your Elohim is giving you to inherit, and he shall give you rest from all your enemies round about, and you shall dwell in safety. And it shall be that unto the place which Yahovah your Elohim chooses to make his name dwell there, there you are to bring all that I command you, your burnt offerings, and your tithes, and the contributions of your hand, and all your choice offerings which you vow to Yahovah. And you shall rejoice before Yahovah your Elohim, you and your sons and your daughters, and your male servants and your female servants, and the Levite who is within your gates, since he has no portion nor inheritance with you. Guard yourself that you do not offer your burnt offerings in every place that you see, except in the place which Yahovah chooses, in one of your tribes. There you are to offer your burnt offerings, and there you are to do all that I command you. Only whatever your being desires, you shall slaughter and eat, according to the blessing of Yahovah your Elohim, which he has given you within all your gates. The unclean and the clean do eat of it, of the gazelle and the deer alike. Only the blood you do not eat. Pour it on the earth like water. You are not allowed to eat within the gates of the tithe of your grain, or of your new wine, or of your oil, or of the firstlings of your herd or your flock, or any of your offerings which you vow, or of your voluntary offerings, or of the contribution of your hand. But eat them before Yahovah your Elohim, in the place which Yahovah your Elohim chooses, you and your son and your daughter, and your male servant and your female servant, and the Levite who is within your gates. And you shall rejoice before Yahovah your Elohim in all that you put your hands to. Guard yourself that you do not forsake the Levite as long as you live in your land. When Yahovah your Elohim enlarges your border as he has promised you, and you say, "Let me eat meat," because you long to eat meat, you eat as much meat as your being desires. When the place where Yahovah your Elohim chooses to put his name is too far from you, then you shall slaughter from your herd and from your flock which Yahovah has given you, as I have commanded you, and you shall eat within your gates as much as your being desires. Only as the gazelle and the deer are eaten, so you are to eat of it. The unclean and the clean alike eat of it. Only be firm not to eat the blood, for the blood is the life. Do not eat the life with the meat. Do not eat it. You pour it on the earth like water. Do not eat it, that it might be well with you and your children after you, when you do what is right in the eyes of Yahovah. Only the set-apart gifts which you have, and your vowed offerings, you are to take up and go to the place which Yahovah chooses. And you shall make your burnt offerings, the meat and the blood, on the altar of Yahovah your Elohim. And the blood of your offerings is poured out on the altar of Yahovah your Elohim, and you eat the meat. Guard and obey all these words which I command you, that it might be well with you and your children after you forever, when you do what is good and right in the eyes of Yahovah your Elohim. When Yahovah your Elohim does cut off from before you the nations which you go to dispossess, and you dispossess them and dwell in their land, guard yourself that you are not ensnared to follow them after they are destroyed from before you, and that you do not inquire about their mighty ones, saying, "How did these nations serve their mighty ones? And let me do so too." Do not do so to Yahovah your Elohim, for every abomination which Yahovah hates they have done to their mighty ones, for they even burned their sons and daughters in the fire to their mighty ones. All the words I am commanding you, guard to do it. Do not add to it nor take away from it. Deuteronomy 13. When there arises among you a prophet or a dreamer of dreams, and he shall give you a sign or a wonder, and the sign or the wonder shall come true, of which he has spoken to you, saying, "Let us go after other mighty ones, which you have not known, and serve them." Do not listen to the words of that prophet or that dreamer of dreams, for Yahovah your Elohim is trying you to know whether you love Yahovah your Elohim with all your heart and all your being. Walk after Yahovah your Elohim, and fear him, and guard his commands, and obey his voice, and serve him, and cling to him. And that prophet or that dreamer of dreams is put to death, because he has spoken apostasy against Yahovah your Elohim, who brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim, and redeemed you from the house of bondage, to make you stray from the way in which Jehovah your Elohim commanded you to walk. Thus you shall purge the evil from your midst. When your brother, the son of your mother, or your son or your daughter, or the wife of your bosom, or your friend, who is as your own being, entices you secretly, saying, Let us go and serve other mighty ones, which you have not known, neither you nor your fathers, of the mighty ones of the people which are all around you, near to you or far off from you, from one end of the earth to the other end of the earth. Do not agree with him or listen to him, nor shall your eye pardon him, nor spare him or conceal him, but you shall certainly kill him. Your hand is first against him to put him to death, and afterward the hand of all the people. And you shall stone him with stones until he dies, because he sought to entice you away from Jehovah your Elohim, who brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim, from the house of bondage. And let all Yisrael hear and fear, and not again to do any such evil matter as this in your midst. When you hear someone in one of your cities, which Jehovah your Elohim gives you to dwell in, saying, Some men, sons of Belial, have gone out of you midst and let the inhabitants of their city astray, saying, Let us go and serve other mighty ones whom you have not known. Then you shall inquire, search out, and ask diligently, and see if the matter is true and established that this abomination was done in your midst. You shall certainly smite the inhabitants of that city with the edge of the sword, putting it under the ban, and all that is in it, and its livestock, with the edge of the sword, and gather all its plunder into the middle of the street, and completely burn with fire the city and all its plunder before Jehovah your Elohim. And it shall be a heap forever, never to be built again. And none of that which is put under the ban is to cling to your hand, so that Jehovah turns from the fierceness of his displeasure, and shall show you compassion, love you, and increase you, as he swore to your fathers. When you obey the voice of Jehovah your Elohim, to guard all his commands which I command you today, to do what is right in the eyes of Jehovah your Elohim. Deuteronomy 14. You are the children of Jehovah your Elohim. Do not cut yourselves, nor shave the front of your head for the dead. For you are a set-apart people to Jehovah your Elohim, and Jehovah has chosen you to be a people for himself, a treasured possession above all the peoples who are on the face of the earth. Do not eat whatever is abominable. These are the living creatures which you do eat: ox, sheep, and goat, deer, and gazelle, and roebuck, and wild goat, and mountain goat, and antelope, and mountain sheep, and every beast that has a split hoof divided in two, chewing the cud among the beasts you do eat. But of those chewing the cud, or those having a split hoof completely divided, you do not eat such as these: the camel, and the hare, and the rabbit, for they chew the cud, but do not have a split hoof. They are unclean for you. And the pig is unclean for you, because it has a split hoof, but does not chew the cud. You do not eat their flesh, or touch their dead carcasses. These you do eat of all that are in the waters. All that have fins and scales you do eat. And whatever does not have fins and scales you do not eat. It is unclean for you. Any clean bird you do eat. But these you do not eat: the eagle, and the vulture, and the black vulture, and the red kite, and the falcon, and the buzzard after their kinds, and every raven after its kind, and the ostrich, and the nighthawk, and the seagull, and the hawk after their kinds, the little owl, and the great owl, and the white owl, and the pelican, and the carrion vulture, and the fisher owl, and the stork, and the heron after its kind, and the hoopoe, and the bat. And every creeping insect that flies is unclean for you. They are not eaten. Any clean bird you do eat. Do not eat whatever dies of itself. Give it to the stranger who is within your gates, to eat it or sell it to a foreigner. For you are a set-apart people to Yahovah your Elohim. Do not cook a young goat in its mother's milk. You shall tithe without fail all the yield of your grain that the field brings forth year by year. And you shall eat before Yahovah your Elohim, in the place where he chooses to make his name dwell, the tithe of your grain, and your new wine, and your oil, and of the firstlings of your herd and your sheep, so that you learn to fear Yahovah always. But when the way is too long for you, so that you are not able to bring the tithe, or when the place where Yahovah your Elohim chooses to put his name is too far from you, when Yahovah your Elohim is blessing you, then you shall give it in silver, and shall take the silver in your hand, and go to the place which Yahovah your Elohim chooses. And you shall use the silver for whatever your being desires, for cattle or sheep, for wine or strong drink, for whatever your being desires. And you shall eat there before Yahovah your Elohim, and you shall rejoice, you and your household. And do not forsake the Levite who is within your gates, for he has no part nor inheritance with you. At the end of every third year you bring out all the tithe of your increase of that year, and store it up within your gates. And the Levite, because he has no portion nor inheritance with you, and the sojourner, and the fatherless, and the widow who are within your gates, shall come and eat and be satisfied, so that Yahovah your Elohim does bless you in all the work of your hand which you do. Deuteronomy 15. At the end of every 7 years you make a release of debts. And this is the word of the release. Every creditor is to release what he has loaned to his neighbor. He does not require it of his neighbor or his brother, because it is called the release of Yahovah. Of a foreigner you could require it, but your hand is to release whatever is owed by your brother. Only there should be no poor among you, for Yahovah does greatly bless you in the land which Yahovah your Elohim is giving you to possess as an inheritance. Only if you diligently obey the voice of Yahovah your Elohim, to guard to do all these commands which I am commanding you today. For Yahovah your Elohim shall bless you as he promised you, and you shall lend to many nations, but you shall not borrow, and you shall rule over many nations, but they do not rule over you. When there is a poor man with you, one of your brothers, within any of the gates in your land, which Yahovah your Elohim is giving you, do not harden your heart, nor shut your hand from your poor brother. For you shall certainly open your hand to him, and certainly lend him enough for his need, whatever he needs. Be on guard, lest there be a thought of Belial in your heart, saying, the 7th year, the year of release, is near, and your eye is evil against your poor brother, and you give him naught. And he shall cry out to Yahovah against you, and it shall be a sin in you. You shall certainly give to him, and your heart should not be grieved when you give to him, because for this reason Yahovah your Elohim does bless you in all your works, and in all to which you put your hand. Because the poor one does not cease from the land. Therefore I am commanding you, saying, you shall certainly open your hand to your brother, to your poor and to your needy one in your land. When your brother is sold to you, a Hebrew man or a Hebrew woman, and shall serve you 6 years, then let him go free from you in the 7th year. And when you send him away free from you, let him not go away empty-handed. You shall richly supply him from your flock, and from your threshing floor, and from your winepress. With that which Jehovah has blessed you with, give to him. And you shall remember that you were a slave in the land of Mitzrayim, and Jehovah your Elohim redeemed you. Therefore I am commanding you this word today. And it shall be, when he says to you, I do not go away from you, because he loves you and your house, because it is good for him with you, then you shall take an awl and thrust it through his ear to the door, and he shall be your servant forever. Do the same to your female servant. Let it not be hard in your eyes when you send him away free from you, for he has been worth a double hired servant in serving you 6 years. And Jehovah your Elohim shall bless you in all that you do. Set apart to Jehovah your Elohim all the firstborn males that come from your herd and your flock. Do no work with the firstborn of your herd, nor shear the firstborn of your flock. You and your household are to eat it before Jehovah your Elohim, year by year, in the place where Jehovah chooses. But when there is any defect in it, lame or blind, or has any evil defect, do not slaughter it to Jehovah your Elohim. Eat it within your gates, the unclean and the clean alike, as the gazelle and as the deer. Only do not eat its blood. Pour it on the ground like water. Deuteronomy 16, 1 through 17. Guard the month of Abib and perform the Passover to Jehovah your Elohim. For in the month of Abib, Jehovah your Elohim brought you out of Mitzrayim by night. And you shall slaughter the Passover to Jehovah your Elohim from the flock and the herd in the place where Jehovah chooses to put his name. Eat no unleavened bread with it. For 7 days you eat unleavened bread with it, bread of affliction, because you came out of the land of Mitzrayim in haste, so that you remember the day in which you came out of the land of Mitzrayim, all the days of your life. And no leaven should be seen with you in all your border for 7 days. Neither should any of the meat which you slaughter in the evening on the first day stay all night until morning. You are not allowed to slaughter the Passover with any of your gates, which Jehovah your Elohim gives you. But at the place where Jehovah your Elohim chooses to make his name dwell, there you slaughter the Passover in the evening, at the going down of the sun, at the appointed time you came out of Mitzrayim. And you shall roast it and eat it in the place which Jehovah your Elohim chooses. And in the morning you shall turn and go to your tents. 6 days you eat unleavened bread, and on the 7th day there is a closing festival to Jehovah your Elohim. You do no work. Count 7 weeks for yourself. Begin to count 7 weeks from the time you began to put the sickle to the grain. And you shall perform the festival of weeks to Jehovah your Elohim, according to the voluntary offering from your hand, which you give as Jehovah your Elohim blesses you. And you shall rejoice before Jehovah your Elohim, you and your son and your daughter, and your male servant and your female servant, and the Levite who is within your gates, and the stranger and the fatherless and the widow who are in your midst, at the place where Jehovah your Elohim chooses to make his name dwell. And you shall remember that you were a slave in Mitzrayim, and you shall guard and do these laws. Perform the festival of booths for 7 days after the ingathering from your threshing floor and from your winepress. And you shall rejoice in your festival, you and your son and your daughter, and your male servant and your female servant, and the Levite, and the stranger, and the fatherless, and the widow, who are within your gates. For 7 days you shall observe a festival to Yahovah your Elohim, in the place which Yahovah chooses, because Yahovah your Elohim does bless you in all your increase, and in all the work of your hands, and you shall be only rejoicing. 3 times a year all your males appear before Yahovah your Elohim, in the place which he chooses, at the festival of unleavened bread, and at the festival of weeks, and at the festival of booths, and none should appear before Yahovah empty-handed, but each one with the gift of his hand, according to the blessing of Yahovah your Elohim, which he has given you. Isaiah 54:11 through 55:5. O you afflicted one, tossed with the storm and not comforted, see, I am setting your stones in antimony, and shall lay your foundation with sapphires, and shall make your battlements of rubies, your gates of crystal, and all your walls of precious stones, and all your children taught by Yahovah, and the peace of your children great. In righteousness you shall be established, far from oppression, for you shall not fear, and far from ruin, for it does not come near you. See, they shall indeed assemble, but not because of me. Whoever shall assemble against you fails for your sake. See, I myself have created the blacksmith, who blows the coals in the fire, who brings forth an instrument for his work, and I have created the waster to destroy. No weapon formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue which rises against you in judgment you shall prove wrong. This is the inheritance of the servants of Yahovah, and the righteousness from me, declares Yahovah. O everyone who thirsts, come to the waters, and you who have no silver, come, buy and eat. Come, buy wine and milk without silver and without price. Why do you weigh out silver for what is not bread, and your labor for what does not satisfy? Listen to me, and eat what is good, and let your being delight itself in fatness. Incline your ear and come to me. Hear, so that your being lives, and let me make an everlasting covenant with you, the trustworthy kindnesses of David. See, I have given him as a witness to the people, a leader and a commander for the people. See, a nation you do not know you shall call, and a nation who does not know you run to you, because of Yahovah your Elohim, and the set-apart one of Yisrael, for he has adorned you. John 6:35 through 51. And Yeshua said to them, I am the bread of life. He who comes to me shall not get hungry at all, and he who believes in me shall not get thirsty at all. But I said to you that you have seen me, and still do not believe. All that the Father gives me shall come to me, and the one who comes to me I shall by no means cast out, because I have come down out of the heaven, not to my own desire, but the desire of him who sent me. This is the desire of the Father who sent me, that all he has given me I should not lose of it, but should raise it in the last day. And this is the desire of him who sent me, that everyone who sees the Son and believes in him should possess everlasting life, and I shall raise him up in the last day. Therefore the Yehudim were grumbling against him, because he said, I am the bread which came down out of the heaven. And they said, Is this not Yeshua, the son of Joseph, whose father and mother we know. How is it then that he says, I have come down out of the heaven? Then Yeshua answered and said unto them, Do not grumble with one another. No one is able to come to me, unless the Father who sent me draws him, and I shall raise him up in the last day. It was written in the prophets, and they shall all be taught by Yahovah. Every one then who has heard from the Father and learned comes to me. Not that anyone has seen the Father, except he who is from Elohim. He has seen the Father. Truly, truly, I say to you, he who believes in me possesses everlasting life. I am the bread of life. Your fathers ate the manna in the wilderness, and they died. This is the bread which comes down out of the heaven, so that anyone might eat of it and not die. I am the living bread which came down out of the heaven. If anyone eats of this bread, he shall live forever. And indeed, the bread that I shall give is my flesh, which I shall give for the life of the world.